The Dallas Cowboys, that is. What up, what up?
Toss it over.
What up? How about the boys?
Yeah, toss it.
What up? How about the boys? What up, what up, what up? They bring the noise. What up?
Off the
I'm
TV.
talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Boys.
I just had Cooper Rush's scalp in my hand, and I just threw it. I threw my Chucky hairdo over to Ad. I had to get rid of it. So we back. We're quickly going to hammer out this live stream. As you can see, we crack them. We crack them if you got them around here. We're all dressed up in some Halloween garb. You got America's Team Hobo or whatever he is. Poor. It looks like he's about to go into a fucking Guns N' Roses concert.
I am either a 1800s hooker in a brothel, or I'm a 1980s glam rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll crack that.
Crack that. And then you got Billy the Butcher over there. Let's get an accent there, son.
You fuckers thought you could come in here and take Cooper fucking Rush? I'll show you, fuckers.
You've lost it. The earlier one was good. Too many crack 'em if you got them. I was Chucky. I ditched the fucking wig. It was killing me. Now I just got this onesie on. And I have to say, with the onesie thing, I remember Tay always bitching about having to go to the washroom in a onesie. Never knew what that was like until today. Trying to go take a piss and having to take the whole thing off to just take a piss. So that was kind of interesting.
You're the guy in the washroom who drops his pants completely to the floor to piss?
Goes to the urinal and has his ass cheeks out at the urinal. So if you're looking for any of our socials, we have at Cowboys CanFan on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, which is the fastest growing Dallas Cowboys meme page in the world. And then today we rock the live stream on YouTube, which is what, AJ?
YouTube.com/Cowboys, or sorry, Cowboys CanFan.
Oh God, this is spiraling.
Okay,
Here we go.
just search Cowboys CanFan on any of those.
So we're gonna jump into it. So I'll kind of lay out the platform of the game. No one knew if Dak Prescott was playing prior to tonight's game. I think we were getting ready for the live stream, and it was about, what do you say, Ad, about 45 minutes prior
Yep.
that I looked up at the screen, and it broke the news that the news was broke that Dak Prescott was in fact not playing. And I'll admit, I was a little nervous, to say the least. Cooper Rush has never started in the NFL. We've only seen him in limited preseason football action. So it was kind of an unknown bag of treats. It
was like someone said, "Do you want a big bag of dicks?"
Yeah, well, you know what?
No.
We did say no, but then when we just had to take it, we were pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. We flat out went,
No, God, please, no.
We did. We said no, God, please, no. We were kind of worried, but all in all, gut reaction. What do you guys think of Cooper Rush?
Yeah, AJ, you go first.
I think he had, maybe it wasn't so silent at the end of the game, but I thought throughout the whole time he was actually having a pretty good game if we're looking just at his stats. Maybe not his some of his decision-making in the early part of the game, but pleasantly surprised.
And this is the
Glad
thing.
we got to see our backup play.
Oh, totally. It's great to see our backup play and backup win, but it's hard to realize what these guys go through pressure-wise when his first NFL start is on Sunday Night Football. Like, I imagine playing on Sunday Night Football knowing that everybody is watching you is a little bit more nerve-wracking than it would be if you were playing at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, one, obviously we like to give Cooper Rush, a.k.a. Rush Hour, a hard time because of some of his decision-making. He hasn't had any snaps, so what do you expect? The other thing, too, is as soon as they would cut to shots of his mom and dad who are in the stands and how nervous they were.
It's hard not to root for him.
It's hard not to root for him. Exactly.
Because you were at the end there when they kept showing his dad when they were in the fourth quarter, and we won't jump right to the fourth quarter, but when they were showing his dad there, like, I could feel like I'm nervous and I have no connection minus the fact being a huge Cowboys fan.
It's easy for us to completely hold somebody over the coals and just yell and swear and fucking brand them. Yeah. But like the fact of the matter is it's a pretty massive opportunity for him. And the fact that he actually did a really good job. he did a good job. Obviously, they won the game, and he had a couple really solid plays, and he made some mistakes that you're going to expect for someone who doesn't have the snap count.
Right. Like I had said prior to him playing, I said he's playing for his future in the league here. This is his shot. He's never going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he can become a very wealthy guy and set himself up for life by taking these moments on Sunday Night Football and running with it. Like, what was it, AJ? You said you had the stats up. What was his stat line? What did his stat line end up being by the end of the game?
So Cooper Rush finished 24 for 40, 325, 2 TDs, and 1 int.
I'm looking at you and I'm waiting for you to start singing Paradise City or something.
Take me down to the Paradise City.
Sorry, you have to say that stat line again because I was just thinking that the whole time.
Sure. 24 for 40, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 int.
Okay, so this is my one complaint about this stat line. I don't think he should have thrown it 40 times. I really don't.
No, of course he shouldn't have.
I don't even think Dak should. I mean, Dak obviously, yeah, but that's even on, I think, a game plan. 40 passes for any of our quarterbacks. I'd rather them be in the mid 30s, honestly.
There was how many times, if we go back to the game, that we were cursing the fact that they were throwing it instead of running it in opportunities like 2 and 3, or like sometimes even like 1 and 10.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the issue. It wasn't even the 2nd and 3rds. It's the 1st and 10.
Yeah.
How many times were we facing 2nd and 10 because we did a play action pass? I get the fact with play action passes, right? You're trying to catch the defense off guard because you think they're playing the run. So you try to sneak one past them. But at some point, being 2nd and 7 is more beneficial than being 2nd and 10. You know, like at some point you need to switch that. And they didn't. And we won. It didn't bite us in the ass. But there were some questionable calls, which the 2nd and 3rd ad you're talking about.
Yep.
I can't remember. It was at the very end of the game. 2nd and 3 on there I think it was about their 15. And we throw it and Connor Williams gets a holding penalty. Now our 2nd and 3 is a fucking 2nd and 13. We missed the pass. Now it's 3rd or I think we got sacked or something, or we had a delay of game, or, it's just, you always want to be ahead of the down and distance. And I found that this game, and I don't even think it was Cooper Rush's fault. I think the play calling was a little suspect, and it's tough to bitch about a win with your backup quarterback, but I do think they put us in some weird spots.
Yeah, like it warrants one of these.
Are you trying to cheat my boys out the game? 15 more yards. Listen, let them play, ref. Let them play. Reasonable. Let them play. Let the boys play. Cheetah. Coach, come on. Cheetah.
And actually that's a pretty good segue into the penalties. Holy motherfuck.
Cheetah.
How many times, how many penalties are we going to get?
Too many. Too many. The Randy Gregory end penalties, unbelievable.
So our last, so the Minnesota's second last drive, first we get a roughing the passer. Basham came in and had a good run on Cousins, but Cousins got rid of the ball and he ends up getting a roughing the passer. Next play, Randy Gregory gets a roughing. There's a pile and he whips down an offensive lineman, gets roughing for that. Next play after that, he hits the guy when he's out of bounds. It's like shit like that. It might win you games against the 3-3 Minnesota Vikings, but when we start playing against other teams like Arizona Cardinals, the game that we're going to against the Las Vegas Raiders. There's teams that you can't give extra possessions or extra downs. You just won't get away with it.
And we finished with 11 penalties, 96 yards. So basically a football field.
A full field. And that doesn't, and it's hard to even put that in perspective with the penalty yardage because it's at the moments, right? Like it's hard. It's such the moment. So now obviously 96 yards in penalties, that right there tells you got penalized quite a bit. But it was just these weird key moments, 3rd and long, and just like weird timing that we just can't do.
We also ended up with 3 sacks, which I know isn't a lot, but it's I think it might have been one of the worst games our O-line played in terms of you know what? A lot of that is on a quarterback's ability to release the ball quicker.
So did we get sacked 3 times or did we get 3 sacks?
We allowed 3 sacks.
We allowed 3
only
sacks.
got 1 sack. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say because we were waiting to play that sack lunch. Let Zach lunch.
That-
Oh man,
So-
I had that thing queued up.
So when you said 3
I was
sacks, okay,
looking
so
over here.
we gave up 3 sacks, which what you said, it doesn't seem like a lot, but there was quite a few offensive holding penalties. And while we're talking about the offensive line, Tyron Smith got dinged up. Trevon Diggs got dinged up. So there was a few injuries in this game. That Amari Cooper, you seen him with that massage gun on the sideline there.
Well, while we're chatting,
Mhm.
Alex, can you search to see if there's anything noticeable about anything notable yet about the Cowboys injury report post game?
Injury reports always post game's tough because if it's something bad, they'll need to get an MRI.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get much more than what we're saying. You got
Right.
Trevon Diggs there on the sideline, and then Tyron Smith kind of was out of I believe most of the second half he was out. So those were the 2 notable things.
I mean, the Diggs injury, I mean, whether or not he just, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the shot, if you look at the replay, his ankle kind of cracked on the shin of.
Speaking of crack,
Crack.
Oh, I thought you were talking.
Yeah.
Crack him if you got him.
I got him.
I thought you were going to say, speaking of crack, and then you were going to expect Alex to start smoking
some
crack
rock. Well, he looks like it a little bit. Well, we have Trevon Diggs on the docket. First game without an interception.
First game without interception, but check this out. So, quote
Let's
unquote,
Let's check it.
Trevon Diggs is on Trevoron. It sounds like a I don't know. Fucking I forgot the name of it. Let me just move on. Trevon Diggs is on pace to allow the most receiving yards, quote unquote. Tonight, Justin Jefferson had a season average of 90 yards and roughly 7 yards of reception. Tonight, he got 2 receptions for 21 yards. Not bad. But you guys don't like that? You don't like that?
No, I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
So you're saying, so are we we're
Okay. I'm saying people were saying, okay, he's got all these interceptions, but he's also on pace to allowing the most receiving yards against him. But tonight, Jefferson averaged 90 yards a game up until tonight. Tonight, he only got 2 receptions for 21 yards.
Gotcha.
And that's the Trevon Diggs effect.
So he only had 21 yards total. Gotcha.
Exactly.
So that's a pretty good stat line. If you're holding their best wide receiver, and this is the thing I always like to say, because CeeDee Lamb and Jefferson's came out in the same first round. So I always like when those kind of guys play against each other to see who gets the better game. And obviously CD had the better game. CD didn't have any groundbreaking or any like numbers like jumping out at you, but his stat line must have been like 6 catches for 70 yards, something like that.
Surprisingly, 6, maybe not surprisingly, but like he's got the ability, but 6 receiving yards, 112, or 6 receptions, 112 yards.
CD had 112 yards. Well,
Yeah.
Ad, what the fuck were you talking about that he didn't have a good fantasy game? He had 112 yards.
He didn't have a good fantasy game for me.
That's 112 yards. Are you in a league where you get 5 points for over 100 yards?
You know what? Sorry. I'll retract my statement. CD still gave me 14 points in fantasy.
You wanted like 20. You wanted a tug.
I needed a 20.
You needed a tugger.
Yeah, I needed a tugger. I looked at the guy right below him. It was 9, so I thought he had a subpar game.
No. I thought then when you said he didn't have a good game, I was like, oh, maybe it just didn't seem like he was getting a lot of yards. So CD broke the century mark. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Coop had I thought Coop had a great game too. What was his stat line? Did he have over 100?
Well, hang on. Before we go to Coop,
Yeah.
the only thing, obviously, and it was a critical moment, but that dropped pass that he had.
Yeah, CD had a bad draw. It was third and 8. We had a good drive going, and he had there wasn't anyone within 5 yards of him. He catches that ball, he at least gets a first down.
A guy like CeeDee Lamb, yes, he gets the first down.
Oh, he gets the first
100%.
down, but I'm saying he at least gets it, and who knows, maybe he makes the first guy miss and takes it for another 30 or 40 yards.
Yeah.
And see, you could tell as soon as he was thinking of running.
Yeah.
And I know it's that cliche thing that you always hear. Oh, he was thinking about running before he caught it. But that's the only thing. You take your eye off the ball and you think you're going to go upfield. And next thing you know, it's 4th down and 8 and you're punting in it. You look like like an idiot because you didn't catch a fucking football when you were wide open.
My whole perspective on this game was, okay, Cooper's going to throw for whatever, 20, 24 passes, and we're going to go run heavy. But of course, perhaps the reason it didn't work out that way is the Vikings made that same bet because our running backs, this is the first game that they've been like really just not very good in terms of average yards, right? 3.1 average yards per carry for Elliott. 3.7 for Pollard.
Wow. And that's low for both of them.
Low. And at one point, I think it was closer to the middle of the game, either second or third, doesn't matter. But we were pretty even. Passing and carrying was like within one touch or one attempt.
Yeah, at one point it was 20. We had 20 passes, 19 rushes.
And we finished with 23 rushes. 40 passes.
Wow.
And that's not including Cedric Wilson's.
I think, so when we looked at that was right after halftime. So the third and fourth quarters, we really went pass heavy, and it was confusing. I still think there was lots of times they should have ran the ball on first down. We've already talked about this, and I'm sure you'll hear about it a lot more. At the end of the day, Cooper Rush had his first NFL start, and he came away with the win.
He came away with the win. Now, and fucking love to see that backup coming in, playing under the pressure, like you mentioned, Sunday night. Parents in the crowd. He's probably nervous as hell, but he still pulled off that win. Definitely ended a lot better than it started, so that's great.
Because I mean, look, at the end of the day, all I wanted to do this entire game was.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Feels good. It feels good. So right now we're 6-1. Still some question marks with Dak Prescott going forward. I think maybe we feel a little bit more comfortable if we had to go another maybe game or two. I'd feel more comfortable even going next week with Cooper Rush to make sure Dak Prescott's 100%.
Exactly. After I mean the Broncos are next, which is not
Broncos Falcons. So it's not like we don't got anything too scary coming up.
But
Broncos did just have a good game this week, but
I was actually gonna say I was a little bit nervous about the Broncos, but the fact that Cooper has got his first game over with, and if they were gonna have to dive in this entire week and prepare for Cooper to take the field instead of Dak, then I'd feel comfortable with that. I'd rather Dak sit out one more game and be a hundo. Because
it's an easier decision now that we've won this game and we're 6-1.
Yeah.
It would be a different story if we just lost today.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking, okay, the Eagles won today. We need to keep this lead in the NFC East. You'd feel a little bit more
cautious.
Inclined to get Dak back out. But now because we won, you kind of have that free. Like you don't want to lose next week, obviously, against the Broncos. But if we did lose next week against the Broncos, losing next week to the Broncos is a less shitty thing than having Dak come back and lose him for the rest of the year.
Well, and I think, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, and I think like on the other side of the ball, on our defensive side, it was a pretty quiet game all over. Two things that stood out to me, though, looking at the stats now. Micah Parsons, 10 tackles and 2 assists.
He did have a good game.
Yeah, and Randy Gregory, a big fat sack.
Yeah, so Gregory had the one and only sack. He had a lot of pressure.
That's what we call a sack lunch.
Yeah, Randy Gregory. He fucking ate that fucking sack all day. So Randy Gregory got that one and only sack. Micah, we were kind of saying that he's kind of been hit or miss this last couple games, but today you could tell he actually had a great. He broke up a pretty nice play out to the flats, and then right after he almost had a pick, but missed it. Missed it.
Those 3 and outs all day long. We had them clinched on it.
So what we're gonna do this. We're gonna get some final thoughts on the game, and we're gonna hop off. We'll be back on Wednesday. So what do we got for final thoughts, Cowboys or America's team Slag?
You dirty slag. Don't you dare try to do it.
Oh, my mouth smells like Cheetos. Okay, actually, next gen stats. The Cowboys had as low. This is my final thought. The Cowboys had as low as an 18% win probability, And then obviously they won the game. But it just goes to show, like, it was a very slow start. It was a nervous start. I was prepared to take the L and just see how things went. I feel like this is a free win. Like, we got a free victory out of it. So like you said, Ant, if Dak's not 100%, we repeat it and we bring out Cooper Rush.
Play with house money. Yeah,
because we lose. I was expecting I didn't want us to lose. I was expecting, okay, who cares? We lose. We have a nice lead on our division. So, but this was just great.
Yep. You're right, 100%. Ad, what do you got going on?
No, I'm the same boat as Alex. I think the fact that as soon as we heard Dak was out, I was already preparing myself mentally for the loss, which is a bad thing to say. But my final thoughts, I thought Cooper Rush, despite some of the very bad decisions he made on the field, I can't say it was completely his problem. There was a lot of bad, I think, offensive calls in situations where it should have been a run instead of a pass.
You're gonna call out the Dungeon Master like that?
You better believe I'm calling out fucking
out.
Kellen Moore right now, because I'm going to be a better DM than that motherfucker. Just joking, Kellen Moore. No, but I think Cooper Rush, if we have to go one more week with Cooper Rush, I don't feel as nervous as I was today's game. And it was nice to see Amari Cooper get those snaps as well. And all in all, I think if we just make sure next week we spend more time running than throwing the ball with Cooper Rush, if Dak is still sitting out, I think we're gonna be in a good spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry this as pretty much the same thing as you guys are repeating. The only difference I'm gonna say, if Cooper Rush is going, the nerves that he had for his first start, he's now proven to himself that he can play in the NFL and he can win in the NFL, which goes miles, right? Like, getting that first start and that first win is huge for confidence. If anything, it's just they're going to be able to game plan around Cooper Rush even better. So if there's any doubt with Dak Prescott's leg at this point, it's got to be a sit him. And I didn't want them to really sit him today, but now, like we've just said, with Cooper Rush showing that he can win, and us kind of at 6-1 having a little bit of wiggle room to lose a game, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. It's like it's a no-brainer, and we're all on page with that. We're all stoked about the win. That Cooper to Cooper touchdown at the end was awesome. We'll be back Wednesday night to talk up the Cowboys versus the Broncos and get a little bit more second thoughts on tonight's game. But for the bandwagon boys, or whatever you want to call them, they look like rock concert fucking attendees in their outfits. And for your host, Anthbess, we out.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, boy.
Jay. Big Hood in the building. What up? How about the boys? The Dallas Cowboys, that is. What up? How about the boys?